Wow, Kathryn Bigelow, Mark Ball, you did it again. Hey everyone, welcome to another review, and here's my review for the movie Detroit. Yes, Detroit stars John Boyega, Will Poulter, Anthony Mackie, Algee Smith, Jacob Latimore, and John Krasinski, and this movie is directed by Kathryn Bigelow and written by Mark Ball. Yes, the same team that gave us Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, and now they gave us Detroit. It's sort of like an unofficial trilogy with these two, and we all know Kathryn Bigelow also. She did more movies like Near Dark and Point Break and stuff, and yeah, this movie Detroit. This is sort of like an early Oscar contender film in August. Yes, first with Dunkirk and now with Detroit. Because, yeah, movies like this, mostly Kathryn Bigelow movies, usually come out during Oscar season, especially because of the quality of the film. They usually get nominated for Academy Awards. So, yeah, I hope this movie gets some Oscar nominations. Yeah, I know it came out in August, but I still hope it gets Oscar nominations. Because this movie is absolutely fantastic. My god, this movie hit me, and oh my god, it's so good. Go see it right now. Go pay money and go see this movie. It's fantastic. Anyways, the story of this movie, Detroit, takes place in 1967, and it's about the Detroit riot. Well, it's loosely about the Detroit riot. It just takes place during the Detroit riot in 1967. It's mostly about the Algiers Motel, yes. During this time period, bunch of these people, black guys, these white girls, they were partying at a motel called the Algiers Motel, and basically these police officers hear gunfire, and they pretty much like raid this motel, and they basically assumed all these people shot someone. A guy was holding a toy gun and stuff, and basically shit happens, and basically these cops start harassing all these people at the Algiers Motel, all these black men and these two white girls, and they're basically harassing them, they're beating them, they're torturing them to find out if they had a weapon and who shot the gun and stuff. Did they kill somebody? And they didn't do anything, but these cops are very racist cops, and they're just like brutally just beating these people and harassing them and doing the most disturbing things to them. And a few of them end up dying. Again, no spoilers because this is a true story, and it is absolutely tragic, and it was damn near hard to watch, and my god, you felt so much sympathy for these people. And basically, near the third act is about like the courtroom case and stuff with these police officers. Do they get prosecuted for murder and assault and stuff? And I won't spoil that part, but yeah, that's basically the third act of the film. And yeah, the first act is about the Detroit riot. The second act, which is like the longest act, which is like the focus of the film, is the Algiers Motel, with these police officers raiding the Algiers Motel and basically brutalizing and torturing these people that did nothing. And the third act is about the trial and stuff, what happens to the police officers, what happens to the survivors of the Algiers Motel. And yeah, basically the story of this movie, Detroit, and again, directed by Kathryn Bigelow, who knows her stuff and puts a lot of grittiness and realism in all of her films, and she does exactly that in this movie, Detroit. This movie, Detroit, is absolutely fantastic. This movie is so gripping, it's freaking hard-hitting, it's emotional, it is just so realistic in the best way possible, because to show a story like this, you need to be brutal, you need to be blunt, and you need to be realistic, and that's exactly what they did. Mark Ball's screenplay is so good. I could definitely see this movie getting an adapted screenplay nomination at the Academy Awards. It is so well done, the dialogue's fantastic, these characters are extremely well-written characters, and yeah, the screenplay for this movie was so good. Kathryn Bigelow's direction was absolutely solid from start to finish. The performances in this movie are all amazing. Amazing. John Boyega is really great in this movie. Yeah, he's not just Finn from The Force Awakens, he is also a security guard in this movie that witnesses everything that's happening at the Algiers Motel, and he's the kind of guy who is in a very complex situation. He doesn't know whether to stop these cops or like help these people, but if he helps these people, he might end up dead like some of these people. It's a very interesting situation that John Boyega's character goes through, and yeah, John Boyega gives a great performance, especially near the third act of the film. He really shines in his acting, and Will Poulter plays the head police officer that's doing all this brutality to these people, and Will Poulter, he's always been a decent actor, but I've never seen him play a role like this. He's always kind of like a dweeby, nerdy role, In this movie, he was so good. He was just scary in this movie. He was like Fassbender from 12 Years a Slave. He was just insane in this movie, and he was creepy, just ugh. And again, he's always played these like skinny, runty, nerdy guys. In this movie, he was a very terrifying police officer, and my god, he is a despicable piece of shit in this movie, and he plays the role incredibly well, and I can definitely see a supporting actor nomination for him. Him and Algee Smith. Algee Smith is phenomenal in this film. His character, I don't want to spoil what happens with his character, but he goes through a lot in this movie, and he just gives a emotionally hard-hitting performance, and that gives probably one of the best performances in the film, and I can definitely see him or Will Poulter get a supporting actor nomination for the Academy Awards. They were amazing. Jacob Latimore from the movie Slight is in this movie. He's really good. Even Jack Radnor from Sing Street, he's great in this movie. John Krasinski, his small role, he's really great in this movie. Jason Mitchell from Strata Compton's in this movie. He's even great in this movie. Everyone gives phenomenal performances. Even friggin' the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, gives a great performance. All the acting by the entire cast is fantastic. There was not a single weak performance in this movie. And again, the stuff that happens to the Algiers Motel, it is very hard to watch, but honestly, it is amazing filmmaking and phenomenal acting. I felt like I was watching a play, like an actual play, and I felt like I was like right in the action. I was like right in this situation, and I was just disturbed. I was just disturbed and off-putted by everything that was happening, but it shows the grittiness and the realism of what happened at the Algiers Motel, and it was so well done. Again, the direction by Kathryn Bigelow is absolutely solid, and this movie is just so well done. How this movie is structuralized is so well done. It's so gripping and very emotional, and just how it all ends too. You just feel just sad and almost sick in your stomach, and like, oh my god, I can't believe this actually happened. And my god, you almost like lose hope in humanity. It is just so sad. And yeah, again, it was so well made. This movie is a fantastic film. I loved everything about this movie. The direction was amazing. The writing was fantastic. It had a really good score, amazing performances, interesting, realistic characters, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. There were a few minor things minor nitpicks, I guess. The beginning of this movie is really good. It's very educational. I love how the opening credits start. It's a very interesting way to open the film. I thought it was really clever, very creative, but it takes a little while for the actual movie to pick up and stuff. Like, the first 25 minutes is them pretty much explaining the Detroit riot. They should have just went right to the singers. Like, as soon as the singers come into the movie, that's Algee Smith and Jacob Latimore and his entire crew. As soon as they enter the story, that's when the movie gets really interesting, which is like the 20-minute mark. Because the first 20 minutes is mostly them explaining and them showing you the Detroit riot, which I do understand. But the main focus is the Algiers Motel, and basically them going through all this with this brutality with the police officers and the aftermath of it. The movie mostly should have been called The Algiers Motel instead of Detroit, but I know it is based in Detroit and it's about the Detroit riot, but the focus of the story and the plot is the Algiers Motel. It would have made a little more sense if the movie was called The Algiers Motel. And the movie really picks up when they introduce the characters that are involved with the Algiers Motel, like the police officers and the singers and stuff. And that's usually in the 20-minute mark. From the 20-minute mark to the credits, it is like solid filmmaking, solid storytelling, and wonderful performances from start to finish. The first little bit is still really good, but it just takes a little bit to make it get going and stuff. And there's a lot of shaky cam in the opening and a lot of quick edits, which kind of gave me a little bit of a headache. But again, those are minor nitpicks. I wouldn't even really call them flaws. It's still, all in all, an amazing film, and hands down, one of the best films of the summer. And please pay money to see this movie. Like, I know a lot of people want to go see probably The Dark Tower and stuff, or see Dunkirk for the 4th time, which you probably should, because Dunkirk's amazing. But if you have time, please, if you really want to go see a great film, go pay money, go see the movie Detroit. It is so freaking good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the movie Detroit a 9.3 out of 10. So yeah, check this one out. It is a damn good film. A damn good film. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Detroit. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite movie directed by Kathryn Bigelow? Favorite movie directed by Kathryn Bigelow. This movie is actually very close for me, but I still think Zero Dark 30 is a better film. So yeah, what is your favorite movie directed by Kathryn Bigelow? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and join the dark side.